to another week of Kids Church at Home. I'm so glad that you can be here with me this week as we explore followers of Jesus. Who becomes followers of Jesus? How and why? Those are all big questions, and we'll explore the ancient stories and see whether or not maybe we understand and can feel the same things as some of those early followers of Jesus. As we get into our theme though, I want to send a special shout out to Henley and to Jackson and to Matthew and to Lizzie. Thanks for joining me, for getting creative and exploring life with me this week. So, as I said, our story is about followers of Jesus. And we're going to go back in time and we're going to listen to a story that puts all kinds of different stories together about all the first people who followed Jesus. Let's listen to this story. This is the story of the disciples. Jesus told everyone he met, "Repent! Stop the bad things you're doing and start doing good." One day, Jesus was at the seashore, and a crowd gathered to listen to hear what he had to say. Jesus hopped onto a fishing boat so more people could see and hear him. "Thanks for letting me use your boat," Jesus said. Then he said to the fishing brothers Simon and Andrew, "I want to thank you with lots of fish, so throw out your nets." "Oh, we'll try," they sighed. Simon and Andrew put their nets into the water, but we fished all night and we caught absolutely nothing. Suddenly, they felt their nets tug. They were overflowing with fish. Rip, pop, snap. The nets were so full they were breaking. The brothers pulled in so many fish that their boat started to sink. "Help!" they called to their friends in another boat. "We have too many fish." James and John rushed to their rescue. The weight of the fish almost took their entire boat. They knew their new friend Jesus must be someone special. He was the one who told them to catch those fish. "Hey, Simon, Andrew, James, John, follow me," Jesus called to them. "Let's catch people instead of fish." Splash! The two sets of brothers dropped their nets into the sea. They were not fishermen anymore. Now they were disciples. They were followers of Jesus. Jesus soon met a tax collector at his office. "Hey, Matthew, follow me," Jesus called. "Let's collect people instead of money." Clink, clink, clink. Matthew, the tax collector, dropped his coins to the ground. He was not a tax collector anymore. He was a disciple, and now he would follow Jesus. Jesus met 7 others that day: Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, another James, Thaddeus, another Simon, and Judas. "Follow me," he said to each of them, and crash, boing, boom, they all stopped, dropped what they were doing, and now they were followers of Jesus. Jesus and his 12 friends, the disciples, shared the workload with many other followers, including Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Susanna. No matter where he went, Jesus called for men and women, boys and girls, to drop what they were doing and follow him. So I wonder, what do you think makes a really good leader? What is it that would make you want to follow what somebody else is teaching? I wonder what it was about Jesus that made all of those people want to drop what it was that they were doing and go and follow and try a new way of living. Jesus said, "Leave your home, but come and follow me to find a new home that could go with you anywhere." It wasn't tied to a house. It wasn't tied to a person, because that home was with God, and you could carry that home wherever you wanted to go. I wonder what it would be like to be able to carry our home in our heart with us all the time, to know that wherever we are, that we are not alone and we are at home. We are comfortable there, secure wherever we are. I wonder. That does sound like something worth learning about. And I imagine these followers of Jesus left the things that were familiar to them because they wanted to find out more about how to live with God so close to their heart. Maybe that's something that is worth following and learning about. Going to create today is something called a mandala. I have an example of one here. It is round, it has patterns, and the patterns come out from the center of the circle. And often we consider that the center is the sacred or God. And then we create patterns around that center, each one helping to focus our attention into that center, into that sacred space. Isn't that interesting how we can use art or creativity to create a prayer? Now this one here was created with objects that I found around the house and I glued in patterns, but I'm going to show you how we can do this with markers. All we need is something that's paper and round. I have a paper plate here, or you could cut a circle out of a piece of paper, and some markers or crayons or pencil crayons. We want to use colors today, so go pick your favorite colors and let's get something paper and round and create our own mandala, our own colorful prayer that focuses our attention on the sacred, on God in our heart. So I have here my round paper. Mine is a paper plate. Yours might just be paper. And I've selected just a handful of colors because I don't need a lot of colors. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose what to put in the center of my circle. I want something in the center that reminds me that this center is God or the sacred. Maybe you want to put a heart there, or maybe you put an eye, maybe you put a circle, maybe you put a cross. There's all kinds of different things you might put in the center to remind you that that center is God. I'm going to choose a heart today, so I'm going to draw a heart in the center of my mandala. You know, often we think that prayer has to be with words, but there's so many different ways of praying, and using colors like this is a way of praying too. Because as we use these colors and we focus on what it is we're doing, we're spending time with God. And that's all that prayer is taking that time to spend thinking about God. And so I'm doing that today with color. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick another color and I'm going to start creating my next round of patterns around the heart. So I'm going to go really simple. I'm just going to do some dots around my heart. This is my next part of the pattern. And now I'm going to keep going. I have my dots. I'm going to put another layer of pattern around those dots. And you can do pictures, you can do shapes, you could do doodles, whatever you like. For this layer, I'm going to try and do just some squiggly lines, kind of like doodling. So I'm just going to doodle a bit here. There's my second layer. Now I'm going to add a third circle around this one. I'm going to go for some lines this time. Let's try that. Do you know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of a bright sunshine exploding in my circle. And as I see that sunshine and I look at the doodles, they make me think of leaves. So I'm going to color those in green to make them look like leaves now. We can always go back and change and modify some of the other parts that we did as we were going. There we go. I like that. That's great. Okay, I'm going to go on to my next layer. Well, now that I feel like I see a theme coming, I think I'm going to add some clouds that go around my sunshine. Well, I have my clouds, and now it's time for the next set of patterns. And I have a theme developing. Maybe you've noticed that you have a theme developing in your mandala, or maybe all of your layers are completely random, and that's okay. That's part of the fun, is creating that randomness and just enjoying the colors and enjoying how they develop on the circle. I really have to think, what am I going to do next? I can't think of what I want to do next, so I'm just going to add a circle around and then I'm going to see where that takes me. Well, I have finished and filled up my whole circle. I think I'm going to call this mandala finished. So here are my two mandalas that I've created. This one here with objects I found around the house, and this one with just markers and color. What I found interesting as I was working on my mandala was how focused I became on the patterns and the colors and just creating. And I was able for a few moments to put aside all the other worries and everything else that was going on in life. That's the beauty of prayer sometimes, is just taking a break and focusing on what we're doing in that moment, the creation that we are being part of in that moment, and finding God in that little moment of peace and quiet and creation and color. I wonder what your mandala looks like. I don't doubt it looks really different from mine, because every mandala is different. It's unique to the person and the moment and what you're feeling at that time. It's an expression of what's deep inside of you. I wonder, as you were creating your mandala, did you see a theme? Can you look back and put some meaning to some of those patterns? Was there a story that comes out of it for you? Or was it just beautiful patterns and shapes and colors that you created into your circle? Both of them are great. What is beautiful about a mandala is there's no right way to do it. It becomes just what it is supposed to become. And there's no perfection in it. There's no right or wrong in it. It is simply what it is. Just as we are. There's no perfection in us. We are what we are, and we unfold as we do, and we unfold in love and with God at our center. Well, thank you for taking time to create both beauty and a little bit of space in your life to spend time with God and creation and color and your own unique creativity. Let's share a blessing before we go off into our week or into the time ahead. May there be love in your heart to give. May there be joy in your heart to share. May there be strength in your heart to lift others up. Until next week, my friends, bye!